have like a stand-in on because like, the style of carry is so unique. I feel like from patch to patch, and I feel like the carry is almost always your win. So it changes the whole way the whole team has to play. If you just have like a team fight offlaner, it doesn't.
Is that meta related as well, though?
I'm saying meta related right now.
Okay. All right. Well, draft is not too far away. Gods, what are you expecting? Bit of fireworks between these two captains?
Yeah, very strategic battle. I mean, Puppy's one of the most unique drafters out there. He's really pushing the limits of this patch that, you know, everyone's ready for the new patch, but Puppy's saying there's still some stuff that we can explore. And then PPD's just a draft mastermind, as BSJ puts it. He'll be very well prepared, has some kind of key go-to... I kind of for him as cheese strats a bit that he really likes, like the Drow strats in the past. It was the Visage strats, Brood Pigs, Huskers. Brood. He very much leans on these, I think, from time to time. But even without them, they're still a great team.
My first question to all of you was going to be: is the Drow going to be first phase banned? That one's gone out the window then. No surprise, really.
I'm just excited for like these team solutions to, especially Enigma and Axe. Because I think that it looks like some of those heroes are going to go through. Like Enigma just as a hero, like when I've been drafting against it, I'm very confused what to pick, like for a carry hero.
Really?
I've heard that like you can pick offlaners like Pango and stuff, but and the same thing with this offlane Axe that cuts creeps, and it gets even more complicated versus Secret. He has put it as a 5/2. I want to see like what ideas they have, because NIP they seem to be letting through like almost everything right now.
Yeah, Weaver's been really popular, obviously, to get rid of that. IO, fairly safe first round ban.
I talked to PPD this morning. It was pretty funny because he was talking about how this patch, even though it's like solved a lot in pubs and stuff, in competitive, it's like when one team starts drafting weird, your only response can be to start drafting weirdly as well. So I feel like that's very likely to be seen in this series, just because Secret, like you guys have mentioned, has been the team that continues to whip out new strategies. And it's like the reason I feel like in Dota right now, in this meta especially, with it kind of being solved for the most part, is if you either have like one different hero in the game, or you have like 6. There's like one team picked a weird one, then they responded with a weird one.
And they're going back to 2014 to find a counter.
Yeah. I mean, the funny thing is, over time, the counters still exist, like the same ones. So.
Yeah. It's the same theory behind it, isn't it? That TA Lina, you're still going, oh, there's a Lina. Oh, we found TA. Oh, they'll probably go for a Lina.
Some heroes are only picked because they counter what's good. The hero itself isn't exactly good in the meta, but they counter what is good. So that makes them like a viable pick.
I mean, we see Timbers, right? I mean, Timbers not been good for a while, but we still see it now and again because
there's like 4 strength heroes.
A certain draft means you can pick it last, and it actually makes a lot of sense. No one picking Windrunner these days, though. Sad times.
Windrunner, yeah, it was picked by NIP.
Yeah.
2 games in a row. I think they paired both games with Drow, today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they love playing...
I see, I didn't watch those. I was watching the A-Stream
They love playing Saxa on the position Wind Ranger with Drow. It's like their go-to.
They're going to pick Phoenix almost certainly since Silencer.
But both Axe and Enigma too.
You mentioned,
yeah. Enigma's the big one.
Just first pick.
I guess Enigma that enables.
So like that at DreamHack. Makes sense, right?
Now it's interesting with because the good carries are morphing in Turbo, so do they want one of those? Or do they want to, let's see.
Okay, Wyvern Terrorblade.
This is like, it's funny, right? Because he could have picked the Phoenix instead of Wyvern too, but I'm guessing they think this is the lane versus Enigma. I played this lane myself, and my Terrorblade was level 3, and I think the Enigma's level 6. So I'll see. Yeah, they are straight morphling it.
Yeah. Secret again for 5 swirly heroes. That's what they're doing right now.
Yeah, out of all the carries, Wyvern's actually nice against Enigma. Because in the laning stage, you level your W, and most carries can't hit the Eidolons very well, but with Terrorblade now, you can meta and kill the Eidolons with the slow. It's actually very useful.
Like, you kind of can. The thing is, like, the wave starts at the Enigma's tower, like, if it blocks properly, and then they have a strong 4. So, like,
in my experience, if my support isn't a Wyvern, I get crushed by it. That's my experience.
I'm down to see what happens. Yeah. But, like, what's funny to me here is, like, it's like you see the Terrorblade and more, like, usually you don't want to, like, patches before, you don't want to do this, but now, like, we've seen these different carries, and they're just not as strong.
You just, teams know these are the carries you want.
Yeah.
And they're going to get counterpicked, but at the end of the day, you're better off having a TB that's counterpicked than having a Chaos Knight or something.
Or a good Sven.
Yes.
Like,
a really good Sven game.
And I think that's partly why you kind of mentioned, like, the issues with Secret and Ace on the team was so many of their games, they were 9th and 10th picking Ace's hero, but that just, the meta evolved to a point where that wasn't winning your games.
Yeah. Exactly.
Dire team back.
But Morphling, one nice thing about Morphling against Wyvern is that if you morph into Wyvern, you can activate the Q, and then you're just 1,000 range for as a Morphling for the next, I think 9 seconds. Or
but the matchup Terrorblade Morphling. What do you think about that? What is it?
It's like the Morphling. If he gets off to a good start, it's like a really good matchup for Morphling.
10 seconds
As the game goes on, like I think Terrorblade's the stronger 6-slotted hero, but I do think Morphling, he just is really hard to fight into as a Terrorblade mid game. Like reflect you oftentimes, he can like steal some hero with a nuke, so he can waveform on top of you, stun you, and then kill you before you.
Yeah, because I want to say Terrorblade is a strong team fighter, but at the same time, like if the Morphling has the same farm and like he has replicates you, I don't know.
Yeah,
and like a Roche Fighter or something.
It's definitely like a Morphling super or Terrorblade super early, Morphling mid game, and then Terrorblade later. I feel is how the matchup is. So I feel like with Enigma that might give and Secret runs it as a 4, like a decent percentage of the time, right? The Enigma. So
yeah.
I feel like they still have the option to have Terrorblade more heavily counterpicked Morphling. So that makes Morphling like obviously a little more favored.
Okay.
Dire team pick.
Let us see.
Team Secrets turn to
Okay, go the Necro first.
I feel like Necro is the most commonly picked third, second pick, because that's like the pick that you get to ban without them seeing anything, so you can ban out like the 1 counter to Necro, which is like usually considered Pugna.
Yeah.
I don't know though. Like I don't think Necro beats either of these heroes in lane.
I agree. I think it's like a pick that a lot of teams default to, and there's that looks.
Dire team
I mean, maybe they have a strong dual lane they thought of here.
Oh, I love that pick again.
But they're thinking of like just saving the Wyvern ultimate too.
Yeah, it's the disruption in the Necro Scythe, or against the Necro Scythe, the ult from Shadow Demon constantly purges your Ghost Shroud. You have to build a 4-staff on Necro. So bad. You can't build BKB like against Morphling. You'll just die to him too.
10 seconds remaining.
Completely hard counter.
Now the lane might be a
5
little weak though.
seconds
Like if they do, they still can put this Morphling mid though. I hope they don't just lose because they forget about it. Because like what would it be? Like a Morphling Shadow Demon safe lane might lose to Necro dual lane.
They've already banned out the Lina, who BSA you mentioned one of the better heroes to put against it mid.
Kind of like when you pick Lina, you have to ban TA. I feel like when you pick Morphling, you just have to ban Lina. It's not necessarily like it crushes your hero. It's just like the burst game's also nice. One of those heroes that you just be in the game.
Actually, NIP should tiny it right here. That's what they should do. They seem to be struggling though. They're running out of time. They
Or 4 position tiny or
no
potentially.
They should be mid tiny. He one shots all of these heroes, and I think he can lane burst everything.
Okay.
Nyx is enabled by Necro in terms of usually his laning stage is a little weaker, but Necro makes up for that.
Yep.
It makes it hard to black hole.
It's alright. It's alright. That's secret. Yeah.
It also makes it so Morphling can't like farm on really low health, which is kind of nice. You have the
10
Nyx
seconds remaining.
Yeah.
scouting you out.
I mean, Nyx used to be really good versus Morph. Now, like I've tried counter picking Morph with
5
Nyx, but like
seconds
mana burn
remaining.
doesn't.
Yeah,
It doesn't do that much.
That is true. I'm sure in the last hero they'll look to pick something like Tiny though, something that will utilize the Nyx assassin scouting the morph to kill him full to 0. Same with the Enigma in fights. Like you just need to have somebody that finds these heroes and.
Yeah,
That's what the
I mean,
Nyx offers you.
the little annoying part is like their last pick, right? Yeah, they are. So they would want a counter matchup, but as you say, they need to pick an Ember Storm Queen, like something like that, tiny.
I think at
Those
least
are the options.
the fact they can wait till they have the overall last pick, they maybe have a better idea if Morph is going mid, because if Secret picks some other core that needs to go mid and can't swap the lanes, then maybe they're like, okay, we can pick an Invoker mid because he's not going to get this bad matchup.
There's the Panga. That was what we spoke about at the beginning.
So it's a Morph mid, right? Oh no,
It
it might
could be
still-
anything.
could
Yeah.
be.
Oh, it's
Could
a
be
support Enigma probably. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're doing now the weird stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what the first pick Enigma makes it even stronger for them. So often that it also enables these like weaker laning
10
offlaners
seconds
like
remaining.
Pango that usually isn't picked just because of his laning stage, but his passive makes your armor
5
0.
seconds remaining.
Terrorblade, obviously high armor, will go down to 0 and he's procced by that.
Secret would pick. I think Tiny is actually good for both teams.
Tiny always good.
No, but he's like such one of those. Like if you put him mid, he doesn't lose to anyone.
Yeah.
He's really good in this second game draft
Turn to
that we
battle.
haven't seen yet.
Yeah, Tiny's definitely like a hero that this patch you a lot of teams pick him just because he doesn't lose his minute. You can just lose the game in the first 5 minutes sometimes.
No, but I guess like if you see these, like if you see Secret's lineup, for example, like when he gets blink, I think they all just die. They just die.
10 seconds remaining.
Arc Warden. Alright, that's just a terrible counter.
5 seconds remaining.
Oh, they picked the Nyx because like they were expecting a Tinker, I guess. Sweated Nyx.
Oh yeah, that block picks that for sure against the TB Necro.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
Tinker and Zeus, so like the kind of go-to counters.
That's pretty smart.
Yeah, I was going to say Zeus is still there. Something that Secret have run against the Terrorblade before.
You're just no longer as scared with the next pickup.
Yeah.
Which is why they ban Arc Warden, who's like the non-int hero that, I don't know, maybe counters TB. We keep seeing this Arc Warden versus TB, and I feel like TB keeps winning, so not totally sold on that idea.
Is that one of those that you get where all the captains go, yeah, no, that has to work, so I'm going to do it again. And then it doesn't work because of something else. And you go, all right, now I figured that bit out. Now I'm going to try it again, but not do that. It like, Puppy does this, Kuro does this. There's a number of captains who, that this belief that this hero is definitely a counter, right?
No, but like it's like a known thing that Arc Warden counters Terrorblade.
Yeah.
Like everyone knows it, but I don't know.
But it isn't working,
is it
though.
true? Like,
But it doesn't.
No,
it's
like, you look at the skill set and you're like, okay, the bubble is just straight up counters Metamorph. Like TB doesn't have a way to deal with it unless he goes MKB. He's a hero that needs to build stat items. Can't build MKB, at least not easily. Like on paper, he's a counter, and then you see the game and it feels pretty good at times, but you just can't win games with Arc Warden.
Well, and the later it goes as well, right?
Yeah, the game
the worse it gets for the arc.
Yep.
And sometimes one hero is just a better hero than
Yep.
Yeah.
that's kind of how it sometimes too.
That's definitely the case.
When Terrorblade is a really good hero,
I'm channeling my inner Nahaz right now. Stats don't lie.
You nailed it.
Johan. He's ignoring me now. He's like, no, I don't believe it. Stats don't lie. Oh, ding ding.
Kunka.
Captain's in the house.
I mean, this just opens up. They have so many good picks there, like especially Storm. I think Storm is really good.
Could they husk?
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Huskar!
You may now select your heroes.
I think they lost. I actually just think they lost, but we'll see.
I'm honestly not a huge fan of the pick, even though I kind of like thought they might do it anyway. It's just like they're going off the strategy that they have Necro Terrorblade, so like the Necro and the Huskar will snowball the early game, and then the Terrorblade will just capitalize on that early lead. Since I talked about like as long as he's ahead of the Morphling, it's a good matchup. So I think that was the goal with this pick.
I mean, it can happen. Like they can win, but I've seen, especially Secret, they usually win these games. Like mid one is level 4 and the Huskar's level 7, and then
Huskar's a really hard time playing against Enigma as the game goes on. So
like yeah.
All right, let's get some predictions. DSJ.
I'm going to predict Team Secret overall. I feel like Ninja's Pyjamas is on a Roche timer. They have to win with the first Roche, or like take a Rax with the first, otherwise they're going to lose. And I think Team Secret is a good enough team to like cause enough chaos to that happen.
Okay, Mr. GODZ.
Gonna take a chance on NIP with their strong lanes.
Okay.
No, I'm actually.
And Mr.
I
PLD.
believe.
Wait, let's see here. There's a Necro and a Nyx. What is that? Now let's go NIP. No, I think the Knicks might actually have a good enough game. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it.
All right, okay. Well, there we go. Then the predictions are done. Sort of done, anyway. There's not a consensus here of an opinion of who's had the better draft, but I wonder what our commentary team think as we head back to Toby and Kyle.
Yes, I'm looking forward to getting Carl's opinion. BSJ said we're going to watch Roshan in the upcoming game. He was the only one to believe on the one
This
side.
is the third game NIP's played. This is their second Huskar. I'm surprised they didn't get Drow with it as well. I feel like Secret's got this super solid lineup. I think that last pick, Kunkka, is not just one of mid one's best heroes, but fits flawlessly into like their whole core concept. Long team fights, set up for the Shadow Demon, catch for the Pango. Like, it's just great synergy, and I think that they're not... NIP is just not going to win this game. It's too much, man.
I've heard you deal in absolutes before, man, and it is not ended well for you.
Well, you gotta have strong opinions one way or another. Both teams can win. I just think Secret is on another level right now.
Yeah. That's the ultimate Dota thing. Like, anybody can win at any time. Like, Dota Plus very rarely ever shows you 100% victory going one way, which means there's always that 1% chance. But I am interested to see how the Nyx Assassin plays out. It was one of the picks that the panel was talking about, potential counter pick towards a Tinker, who was another hero we're throwing up for both sides of the fence.
30 seconds to
We were
battle.
talking about it backstage actually with Pi, BSJ, and Fogged and Grant all during the break. It's cool. There's so many people here, by the way. It's
There
great.
is.
There's always people to bounce ideas off of, but we all believe that Tinker should be counted as not just like as great. He's one of the Exodia heroes. Okay, there's Meepo, Huskar, Brood, Alchemist, and I really think that fifth one is Tinker, and I think he's going to catch on by the end of this tournament because he really would have crushed both teams' drafts if you removed the Nyx from
Battle
NIP.
begins.
The battle for the runes is already beginning. On top, there will be Saxa with a nice stun to keep Zai out. And that will mean that the Team Secret, they will claim 2 of the 4 and same for NIP. So pretty well balanced. It will be Ace with the Wyvern of PPD towards that offlane. Ace gets to enjoy playing up against his former team. And he'll even play up against his replacement, Nisha, who's on that bottom lane. So it'll be Nisha and Poppy together. And then that mid lane, Sparta going up against mid one. Should be an interesting battle. A lot of harass. You're actually saying in the previous series, like, the harass game just doesn't work. How does it work, though, with a Huskar when you got these burning spears?
And that's a different story because Huskar also can orb walk, and that makes it a far easier task to harass someone out of lane because you're never drawing creep aggro. And especially when you're up against a melee.
Terrorblade, you're actually not looking too good. That's 5 stacks, 6
dead.
stacks of Shadow Poison. 32 HP Ace will drop down to, and he'll
got the
have his
salve.
salve cancelled off as well. Oh, Puppy.
Really well done by Puppy, and I love the build too. Just 4 mangoes, so he's always able to threaten more poison stacks. You don't want to have mana pots because Shadow Demon's a snowballer. You have to keep these stacks going if you're actually going to do the damage. And as you can see, he's just chasing down Peter. Meta just faded as well.
Oh, Puppy is like, what's he getting? He's not going to burn another mango. He missed the 4th stack. Mid one's already burned through his salve. Fada. Mid one doesn't even get through the full duration of it, and Fada's just going to town. That's 7, 8, 9, 10 burning spears. Mid one knows he's dead. The torrent won't connect, and Fada muscling out the Conqueror in the mid lane.
Although mid one is getting a lot of CS, which you want to have this go down. If you're going to lose a lane, do it because you're dying. You don't want to be in a position as a Conqueror where you're just unable to CS at all. However, this lane never gets any easier, especially when Fata gets hill control. This is something mid one's got to fix ASAP, because if that lane stays where Fata can control it, mid one's never able to CS, because again, the orb walking, you're always going to take spear damage, and you can't counter harass.
You got rotations from Nip, so Saxa going to head down to the bottom lane. Puppy with the double damage rune. Doesn't have a lot of mana to work with, but that's the reason why mangoes. And they turn over. So the stuff, it's good. And control, Nisha does not have waveform. And when adaptive strike as well as the attribute shift, so no way to escape the gank. And that's 2-0 up now for NIP.
I like what they've done. They recognize that they can bring 3 down bottom and crush an incredibly weak lane in Shadow Demon Morphling, because up top, it's a Pango Enigma. You're never going to apply pressure here, but neither are they. You can't kill an Enigma, or sorry, a Necro with these 2 heroes, and Necro's always able to push the wave. So Mind Control's going to win this lane, or at least trade 1v2. And bottom, you can dominate.
Well, Yap's just going to try and add some of the pressure. The conversions will die, however, with the jump forward from Pango. They may just have enough damage to get through Mind Control. He doesn't have any level of Ghost Shroud, but it will not matter. It seems just backing off, and you're right, Necro can survive.
Yep. And the way Enigma lanes want to play is just passive, bring the lanes back, utilize a slow but steady GPM increase, because you're denying and farming jungle when the enemy team can't. But if you're going to lose your mid and your bottom lane in trade, it's not worth it anymore. And NIP recognizing how you have to address this Enigma, at least in the laning phase.
I think they're looking for a go on bottom lane. Destruction is out with Catcher. The follow-up and a spike carapace from the Nyx Assassin, stunning up both Nisha as well as Puppy. As Nisha into the trees, he's strength morphing up. Does he have enough? He jukes them. He goes down, he comes back up again. NIP, it's okay. They have another stun available. Maybe with a Splinter Blast and slow. Nisha just does not have a way to survive. He will go down, and Mind Control forcing Zai back, and this gank from Yapsaw, it's such a waste of time. He's been underneath that dire observe ward for so long that even when he rotates in towards the mid, Fada knows he's safe.
Yep. And it's just huge issues now for Secret because you can't recover the lanes anymore. The benefit of the NIP draft is once they're ahead, Necro Huskar, they turn that advantage into survivability, just raw survivability. You can no longer take them out with the mid-game and very ultimate dependent lineup of Secret.
Secret, they had such, I don't want to say an easy run in their first series, but NIP have really challenged them. Great movement around the lanes, great drafting as well. Battling up against this Nisha Morphling who had an unbelievable game previously. But this is still only the very early game. Yes, the CS and the gold is definitely going the way of NIP. You've got runes up in 7 seconds and the Ori looking to contest it. So Poppy's coming over. Yapsor's here to try and help it out. And it's that rotation of these Team Secret supports trying to have a bigger influence. And maybe they have a chance to get PPD, but the poison doesn't reach him. PPD will be fine. Gets up the hill and away.
This is troubling. This is the dream Necro game for Mind Control. Obviously, ringing for NIP as a stand-in, but it doesn't really matter how much you play with the team. This Necro is, with this bunch of a lead, you played the same pretty much every game. You just take over, and I like what Zayas Pangos did. He's got a bottle. He's just trying to spam creep waves to try and get some CS, but you can never kill Necro or even harass him. So
they're coming again down to bottom lane once again. This Observe was giving Nisha a little bit more confidence to stay where he is. Just seeing the other side of the tree, so Splinter Blast from Wyvern's the only harassment against him. There's this top lane fun as well between Mind Controllers and Zai. And I don't know what he's meant to do there, but then you look towards mid. Mid one started jungling. As Fada hits level 6, he's almost level 7. He's ready for a quick jump, he just needs some help.
I like what Yapsor has done here, though. Instead of being top, where, as we discussed, he can't do anything to a Necro, he's safeguarding mid lane in a way for mid one, helping him stay alive. Oh no.
Yeah, there's a jump in towards mid. Mid one begins his TP out very, very quickly. Nisha as well is copying a hell of a lot of damage on the bottom lane. Sox is just being more of a nuisance in the jungle. But Nisha's copped 2 blasts. Splinter Blast from PPD to the face.
Yeah,
and he's trying to get his life back to try and fight against Ace, but Ace just turns in that metamorphosis.
It's incredible how well Nisha's done down bottom though. He's 23 and 19 against a 17 and 12 Terrorblade. I cannot believe that he's kept up. Very impressive.
Even the net worth's not that bad. Like, he has cracked, he's got the same amount of net worth as Ace.
The main issue is this mid lane, and as you said at the start, PPD actually selected, he had priority, he chose second pick. And it's, I believe, because he and a lot of these other teams place this high priority on having that 10th pick, which more often than not is a 1-to-1 counter for whatever the enemy side pick mid. And in this case, it also has the benefit of being a major component of NIP's win condition. And the Aegis carrier. You hate having a TB that needs to pick up the Aegis for your squad.
But Nisha is trying to bait them in to try and fight. Poppy's actually leaving. He's TPing all the way back to base. He's got nothing more to give. He's burned all of his mana, so Nisha has to be careful. Up on top, that's going to miss. But, and Nisha, if Saxa, he's waiting for Nisha to hit him so he can hit the Spike Carapace, then the follow-up into the Impale. The strength morphing up. He's making this really hard for him. He's going all the way down with agility. PPD, they know where he is thanks to that Observer Wall that was already down. And Team Secret is sort of a one kill on the board with a rotation of mid one. They will find it. So finally chalking one up.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, this is the thing though. Eventually, as you can see, NIP is going to have to abandon bottom because Morphling just gets too strong. Mid, Yaptor not level 6.
They don't have X marks to spot as well, so they can't control our Fada's position. But they need a hell of a lot more damage than what they've got. And something which isn't just the magical.
Yep. You got to keep in mind though, the way NIP's lineup works is that it's supposed to be ahead, but it needs to stay ahead. Huskar and Necro can't influence the map or the game if they're not so powerful. It requires more enemy heroes to address their influence. It's going to be key that NIP starts to turn this 3k advantage into towers. As you can see, the Necro TP is smoke with ult ready. This is the sort of play you need to make. You've got to kill Nisha, get to tower, get the momentum rolling.
Yeah, if you can get a Reaper Scythe onto him as well, he's going to be down for so long that momentum into the tower will be even more effective. And PPD, all he needs to do is just hit him with a Splinter Blast and then follow into the Reap. Besides, the damage is not enough to get the kill on him. And Nisha waveforms underneath the tower. Strength morphs up. And they do not find the kill that they were looking for.
Oh, bottom the mid ones. This is the SD Conquer combo.
SD just disrupted up, follow up torrent, and they've got so much poison onto PPD. The ship flies forward, and with the X mark, pull him back. The mid one for his second rotation to the bottom lane finds his second kill of the game as Pango jumps around and Zai killing off Saksa.
Well played by Zai. His Pango, I think. I was talking with Moon at the minor. His theory is that only ex-Han players can play Pangolier because he's almost straight out of the game. His abilities are like real weird, vector targeting, etc., etc. The best three are Boxy, Moon, and Zai. And it's always a treat to watch when these superstars make this hero look absolutely broken, which I personally believe he is.
10-minute bounty runes are under attack as nice torrent actually keeps Fada away for a little bit of time, so Puppey tries to juke in the fog of war, begins to TP out, and they won't see him, they won't have the damage. Puppey, the regeneration of the fountain will keep him alive. Meanwhile, Zai is bottling up runes. All the regeneration in the world, he'll find a haste rune as well, and they're pinging out PPD. Yabso only has to hit one Malefice, and they'll probably find the kill in mid. But instead, Zai's looking towards bottom lane. Working with Nisha, Mind Control has very little mana, one charge to work with, and Zai into the Rolling Thunder. Bounces through Mind Control, jumps straight back out, hitting Fada on the way through, and they can keep going. High movement speed. Do they have the life? However, Nisha starts to blow up the enemy, and they really commit to kill off Fada. The commitment is worth it. Zai claiming a double kill on bottom.
And that was Nip just getting way too greedy with their movements. They're trying to get their supports level 6. Both Wyvern and Nyx hit a peak, so they have a lane each. TB's in the jungle, so there's no tower pressure applied anywhere else. And they make a move with their two strongest heroes on map and get punished hard. This is the benefit of Kunkka and Pango. The moment they're online, you cannot fight into them anymore. And you can see Zai Pango, he did that, I don't know how to explain it, but there's not a bug, but an intended mechanic where if you stop your Rolling Thunder while in the middle of Shield Crash, you can cast your, what's it called, your Q, the Swashbuckle, and you land, I don't know how to explain it, you like Shield Crash on your, where you are, but you end up moving away with the Swashbuckle. I don't know how to explain it, ask the Pango. But he knows what he's doing. That's the point.
Goes past the player, repositions behind, and still does the damage the way you want.
Yeah, and that was a hard punish. Like all of a sudden, the game is even, and as we discussed, like Secret, you win fights.
Rolling Thunder's out once again. You may just see it happen once more. So there's the pickup, Mind Control. Not turn around, bounce him again. As mid one has a good follow through. Saksa was really thinking about helping out. It's the end of his vendetta that he has.
And all of a sudden, that huge lead that NIP built up in the lanes is gone, and now Secret Straps is online. And the Shadow Demon is no longer the worst hero in Dota, but all of a sudden a hard counter to not just Necro, but TB and Huskar. Thanks to the damage amplification from your W, you can make illusions of the TB, the auto purge on everything Necro does. There's no way for Necro to itemize to survive in this game, which is why you see him going for a Force Staff. Any sort of immunity or resistance item just gets purged off.
Do they have still... Oh, Puppey. Drops the sentry ward. He was actually looking to de-ward out. Maybe he was looking for the aggression from Nyx Assassin. Sucks has been missing for a while. But the Observer and Sentry were perfect. I think they even saw the secondary Sentry ward, the Observer ward that got placed.
Yeah, that's really nice. So there's a lot of mind games there. Saksa identifying that there's probably a ward on this high ground just based on he saw the SD with a ward, now it's gone, he knows where it is. And also Puppey placing that sentry. It's always cool to place these ward sentry traps when you're playing against Nyx. You want to not necessarily have detection in fights, but more where is he? Place choke point double wards to ensure that you can track his movement through the woods.
They're looking towards top lane. Mid one. Mind Control's back far enough. And Zai doesn't really seem to be that interested in the fight. It's Nisha and Saksa who just trade a little bit of hits. In fact, Nisha gonna wave forward. Now Mind Control pull back in, and that was that combination we were waiting for. Actually missing a little bit on that torrent. So not exactly what they wanted, but it will not matter when Yapsor's there to land the extra stuns.
That's just...
And Nisha is still just going, he's going 1v2. He's been chasing Nyx for the last probably 30 seconds.
This is some trouble, but he should be fine here. A little low on mana. PPD trying to capture the ultimate, but I don't think it's going to happen, or will it? Nisha?
Well, no one else is around him. The shrine's not available for another 2 minutes.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
There's actually no TP support either. Like both TPs for support, so Team Secret, one doesn't exist and the other's on cooldown. So Nisha is alone to fight on this bottom lane, and Saxa, oh boy. All right.
It's the first mistake I've seen Nisha make outside of the laning phase in a while. Just getting a little cocky there. Doesn't have vision, should know Nyx is in the area. I like the play from Secret though. They made this little harass move on the Huskar middle, threatened him, forced a TP from Peter, who now has to run all the way back to bottom, where he wanted to continue playing just to try and get some tower pressure back up his Terrorblade. Yapsor in the meantime just farming jungle. He'll be rushing the Blink Dagger, which in this game I agree with, because Zai, and this is what we see with Secret, the cores pick up the support style items. Enables Yapsor what he wants.
Yapsor with the midnight pulse. He has the Alpha Stun now available, but here comes the jump in. That's a great black ball opportunity as the Reaper side does not find the kill over on Thunder. In fact, Mind Control just pulled back into his own death. The curse is out, and Zai is held in position. Ball at all.
Radiant's middle tower is under
But they
attack.
found the 2 kills the Team Secret really wanted to have. Mid one will be able to TP away to safety, away from the hunting Nyx assassin.
And once again, it's on these 2 tanky cores of NIP. Necrophos, Mind Control's 0-4. His game is going to be
Radiant's
utterly
bottom
ruined if
tower
he isn't
is
able
under
to
attack.
slap back with a
Radiant
couple
structures
kills
are
coming up. But
fortified.
I mean, Ace's game is great. It's top net worth, but at the same time, Pangolier, Kunkka, Morph, like these heroes are very good matchups against you. And your illusions are going to have a very hard time surviving in a game like this.
Nipper potentially going to go.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
They're going to defend top. Here comes Winter Wyvern. Curse is not available, so Splinter Blast will just slow down the push. As Nyx Assassin still inside of Vendetta, looking for more heroes to come forward, and PPD is very much alone. I don't know if this is part of the plan for NIP to try and get in and attack. Vada definitely wasn't doing that. He's looking to try and take out Ancient stacks, while Ace is adding pressure to the bottom lane. Zai just jumps over the top of him and actually looks for the kill. It's Ace's illusions hunting down Puppey.
I like those cool little plays from Secret. They're very good at pushing the envelope. Like, there's no need for Zai to do that. He's just trying to threaten and potentially force an NIP teleport in. There's no other reason for that, but it's just always good, just because you never know what sort of momentum you can get on the map from little maneuvers like that.
Sux has got some nice information on mid one. They've got very deep observer wards for NIP. Seeing across the Radiant jungle as well as seeing that northern side, so see both Yapsor and mid one. And just farming around.
Zai already with 3 charges on a Spirit Vessel. That is such a huge item in a game like this. It crushes Necro and Huskar. And
Look at smoke.
Ooh.
And Saxa breaks it instantly. So there's only one hero left inside the smoke, and that's Zai. But team, yeah, Nip, they see everything coming their way.
If you're Secret want to force fights. They have a Blink, Enigma Hole. They've got all their ults up. They constantly want to be able to find kills. And man, the Mind Control, you do not want to be here. You know they're in the vicinity.
Oh, but still, he's jumping in. Like this is bait. Zai's going to jump forward. Winter's Curse is the problem for PPD, but then the jump forward and the hit back. Team Secret, this chain stunning onto Mind Control, executed perfectly. And then they split up, ensuring no Winter's Curse to mess up any kind of push from Team Secret. And Fada is still looking to fight. Yes, he doesn't have BKB, but he's still a very tanky Huskar. With Armlet off, he has 1842.
Ace does kill, I think, the bottom tower. That yeah, he killed it during that engagement, but I just don't know if this is a TB game like we saw in the previous series. I don't believe Ace can just win the game single-handedly, and I'm concerned that if his BKB timing is a bit slow, like Nisha's Morphling just will beat him as the game progresses. You get the free meta, you get the reflection when you take over the Morph with the Morph, or sorry, the TB with the Morph, and I think I said this already, but we're kind of sick of the Morph Terrorblade meta, but at the same time, you watch these heroes in games and you think to yourself, well, is there any other carry better? They just provide so much more than any other heroes in Dota right now.
And it seems so much you have to do to actually counter them as well. So once the hero pick comes, it's like, well, okay, well, we'll first face this. Spend the rest of your draft making sure you have an answer to us. But still, Terrorblades having like ace. As you said, like maybe this isn't going to be his game, but he's on a good start for it. 8.8k, 8.9k is the net worth. Well ahead of all of the rest of Team Secret, even though Team Secret have 4 heroes in the 6.6k to 7k, and that's the Enigma, who's number 1. What a surprise. YapzOr finding a lot of money on the map. And this time their smoke will not be instantly broken.
I like this smoke too because it's to wards. They already have these deep wards placed in the enemy jungle. They're going to just run straight for them, and look what they find.
They're going to find Fada, the perfect hit. Pick him up, pull him back in again. Got the armlet turned on, but that will not save Fada. There was not enough support coming his way quick enough. Zax is hoping for something else in return, but all he's seeing is Nisha. Does not have the damage to find the kill. So instead he's hunting the courier.
But look at Nisha, man. Hiding in the woods. What a player.
They know.
You know how hard it is to find somebody with that sort of awareness? I've never played with anyone that would hide a courier just based off spidey senses.
Zai's in trouble. Ace gonna go into the metamorphosis. Zai has enough life. He's actually just gonna Rolling Thunder and TP away to safety. Well away to safety, and the curse out in mid Puppey, and he's actually gonna reap beside them. 1 minute on the sideline for the Team Secret captain. They would like to go for a little bit more.
YapzOr's here. He's got Blink.
And he does.
And once he has BKB as well, only the winner's curse will be able to interrupt that ultimate. And I like his decision because, again, he's top net worth number 1. But look at the 4 heroes of Secret and how close they are. And the itemization, once again, is just so fluid. Zai enabling YapzOr to play this greedy style. He gets the Spirit Vessel, an item they desperately needed.
Mid one's kind of trying to keep that pressure off the bottom lane. This is very much a repeat of what we saw earlier today, where the Terrorblade on this dire side just owns bottom jungle and continuously pressures towards the tier 2 tower, keeping one person down. I think the difference in this game, however, is mid one can just walk up and clean up the creep wave.
Yep.
Not with 1 hit just yet. He's not that strong.
Eventually.
Yeah.
And the timing is going to be the BKBs. They almost have it on the
Courier. Toxic, get the hell out of there. They're already TPing SD over. Waveform up, Nisha's on the hunt. YapzOr comes over. Spire Carapace will end up triggering this onto YapzOr, but he's more of a thorn in the side.
Relatively even exchange because they got the Lincolns on the Morph. He would have been very sad if that was gone for 3 minutes. That's such a critical item in a game like this. 3 wards on Puppey, a couple of sentries. Now they're going to look to address the map, set up a Roche.
Well, Nisha's already in. Then if they're even setting up fully for it, the Observer Ward from NIP saw it all happen, so even if Morphling feels confident about this one, Nyx Assassin's back up in 1 second time. The smoke is out from NIP, and they do not find the opening they want. In fact, Team Secret pulling out of the pit.
They also don't find the Observer Ward. That sentry just missing the ward placed by Peter, who put it about 300 units further north than you would expect, and that evades the sentry.
I don't think Fada really wants to come into this fight just yet. He's 200 gold away from having the BKB.
Yeah.
So just a little bit extra time for the Huskar up on top, and he'll have what he wants. Meanwhile on bottom, looks like Ace is going to go after Puppey, and Reflection and Illusions chasing him into the tree lines, but with YapzOr moving over. Blinks forward, doesn't find the target he's looking for, but Puppey will still die in the trees. Could not escape the illusions.
YapzOr hesitated for a couple moments, or he would have found the tailgate for sure. He wasn't sure which one was real, and by the time he realized Ace was on the retreat, just out of range. And it's the benefit, once again, of this move speed build. We saw Butterfly Sanj and Yasha last game. This time Ace going
That's a
drums
real
out.
nice by Carapace. The sword button from Zai, but here comes YapzOr, but the curse PPD in the right position. YapzOr is held there, and maybe with a son in his own BKB, they can walk it out. As X-Mark, Spot, Torrent, and Rolling Thunder, they're all coming forward. Right on top of Nyx Assassin and Nisha. Waveforms forward to get the kill of Nyx. Mind control, he's got a little bit more life. Thanks to the Ghost Trials towards the one shot as he's healing up pretty quickly. And he's got extra health. Fada jumping forward with that fresh BKB of it. He's there, ready to fight with Nisha. He's just so strong. The double kill for him already. Fada can't even stay close. The X-Mark spot keeps pulling him back and forward. Catch it up, fearful of the amount of damage that Team Secret can output.
That Winner's Curse actually got the scythe damage. It was a bit too early, so Pangolier not only survives, but now all of a sudden he's able to roll forwards and get what felt like 8 stuns off in the fight.
Just never-ending control. A double damage rune as well.
They do
The Morphling.
They do preserve the BKBs though, both Huskar and Terrorblade with 10 seconds, and those are critical. You need to try and win a couple fights while these BKBs still have those big timers, because it makes Kunkka, Pango, these heroes don't do any damage anymore.
Well, Ninja's going to go in for Roshan with that double damage rune. He feels very confident to do so.
They have no Black Hole though.
No, they do not. No Rolling Thunder just yet. Ghost Shift is back up as here comes the rest of NIP. Mind Control just jumps straight inside the pit, looking for his own target. No Reaper side battle side. Rolling Thunder's forward, manages to split 8 as well as Mind Control for the Sparta, who is in so deep. It ended up being a 1-for-1 trip. He couldn't get back out again, but the waveform Mind Control, so much damage. Yanks mark the spot into the torrent. The control will just sustain through all the duration of the Ghost Shroud. And NIP now with 2 heroes down cannot stop Roshan from happening.
That was, so I praised him the first time saving the BKB, but now Fada's taken 2 straight fights without BKBing. Like, if you're going to play this Huskar and you're leaping in, you need to be BKBing at the same time. He got disrupted. He wasn't peeled off by a purge. He just straight up got disrupted in the face and then died. Like, I actually don't even know how this is possible.
Let's have another look at it again.
You can see him initiate. Puppy should die here. You should be BKBing. Instead, he's going to catch the disruption. And I believe Morph with the DD just killed him. Because now he's BKB, but he's not only hit by Morph and Purge, so he's got no move speed. He can't leap away, and he's standing in the Midnight Pulse. You got a BKB there.
Well, it's going to hurt him. No doubt about that.
That gives away Roche.
Gives away Roshan. And it's on to the defense. I would say that while Nisha has the Aegis Immortal, like, you know he wants to try and fight, and that's what they're doing. Down towards the bottom lane, it was NIP almost looking for this fight. PPD has the Winter's Curse available, but now Zaksa needs to run away. 2 seconds to Spike Carapace, and that's 2 seconds too long. Winter Wyvern will complete the TP before Nisha is able to waveform forward and find him.
But I got a question, like, will Nip actually be able to deal damage at a certain point? Zai is going to go for the Crimson Guard, and I imagine Greaves will be soon after. No one on NIP can really buy these teamfight items, and you're going to reach a point where Zai represents like plus 1,000 to 1,500 HP to his entire team, and your supports are just going to feed the side of Nip. Huskar and Necro have a real hard time starting to do damage.
Nietzsche's not going to go in, and it's also just an illusion, hence they're not really trying to force it. It's the bottom lane that they're really going for. PPD, with his own little Tinker Ward on the hill. See Zai come in nice and close. And here comes Huskar as well. They would love to just get that straight out jump over towards Zai. Nisha is low, but here goes Zai into the Rolling Thunder. He hits through the Winter Wyvern, bouncing off the walls, and PPD at least he'll avoid the torrent. That's his upside for him. A swashbuckle away for Zai gets him into a safety zone, but the BKB burned from Terrorblade now onto cooldown. Zaksa does not get pulled back into a stun, instead it's going to be mid one. He'll just connect and hit into ace. He's got another hit, and you know Nisha wants to find these kills of his own. With all these trees gone, he's got the vision down the side to keep battling up against NIP. They're fighting even outside the tier 2 tower. Another pullback onto Zaksa. He does have the Spike Carrots, but can't get it off in time as Yapsor just jumps forward. Fada, BKB, they're just trying to bait out these defensive items before they even go for the big fights.
And now this fight so well. They blew everything. They forced double BKB, they got Sunder, they got Meta. They're all like, they don't care. And Nip just has such a hard time playing into Secret's lineup because they have so much peel. You don't have any real catch. You have Huskar, TB, Necro. Where are your stuns? Who's actually able to go in and keep a fight going when you have a Pango and a Morphling that can just get away at any time? The other target's a Kunkka with BKB armament. It's just not feasible.
They're chasing Zaksa. They don't have the continued vision. I don't think that was the Rolling Thunder he really thought he was going to have.
And you can't fight the Secret's lineup anymore. Sure, your Terrorblade's an item ahead, but it doesn't matter. It's not relevant when you consider how Secret occupies 4 out of the top 5 networks. No one dies. You can't get on top of Puppy. You don't have any heroes capable of doing so long as there's a sentry down.
Dire's middle tower is under
There's a threat of a BKB black hole at all times as well.
Yep. And that's where PPD just cannot burn the Winter's Curse. Like, he needs to wait for Yapsor to go in for that blink black hole, and you could see him almost trying to bait out the curse by blinking forward so aggressively, like he was going to go for the black hole, and then nothing happened.
Secret has no intention of blowing their spells early. They just want to ensure NIP can't take that decisive engagement where but if Secret initiates, it's really the only way they lose is if they hard commit. A black hole with BKB up gets Wyvern ulted. There's 3 heroes there.
Yeah.
Lots of trouble all of a sudden. But they just want to make Nip use their cooldowns first, stay alive, and you can see Kunkka going for a halberd next. I again just think it's the name of the game for Secret is damage reduction, which is a concept they've abused to win both the PvP lane in Singapore along with ESL Hamburg. And this is how they win a lot of their games, just maximizing their team's efficiency in both damage output and reduction. And you just sort of throw up your hands at a point and you think, how the hell do we kill anybody?
It's a very good question. I'm sure NIP will try and answer it pretty soon. Observers, sentries, that sentry will see the dire orbs. That was a fresh one down as well. But NIP, they'll throw down their own sentry orb, but it's fine. Nisha will clean that up. No problems whatsoever. Zai feels very much like bait coming in for the room, but PPD, what do you want to do? They don't see up the hill. They lost their observe ward. They needed to have that vision in order to have the information required to take the fight. They didn't know how much of Team Secret was behind.
Another really, again, the little things they do so well. Nisha went for Linken's this game, and Yapsor is going to get one as well. And at a certain point, first off, that means Enigma will no longer be interruptible. Wyvern cannot proc Linken's and get the ultimate. And you're also going to give the ability to double Linken's Nisha as he walks high ground. How do you sunder him now? How do you actually break Linken's? How do you...
Yeah,
like, look at all the single target spells.
Do you even have like enough items that would even break that? Yeah. I'm not even seeing a 4-star, no Hurricane Pipe.
The only thing
went full defensive.
Yeah, they literally have Mana Burn and Huskar ult, Necro ult, TB ult, Wyvern ult.
That's a lot of abilities you do not want to burn on just a Linken's.
Correct. And this is it. I mean, they have Crimson Guard. Nisha's really farmed, and you start pushing a bit with the Shadow Demon Illusions as well. Another mechanic that Secret's abusing.
And they even dodge the Splinter Blast. Like, that's meant to be the counter push for NIP. X marks the spot, manages to pick up over on Ace. Hitting nice and hard, but then again, Fada does manage to catch out Puppy, had to BKB and run away. Nisha does also burn his Metamorphosis. So a small trade-off. Kind of feels like NIP came out on top, but do they want more? Next Assassin's already on the hunt. He's going to find his target. It's going to be Zai. And they find the stun. They find the control. The Reaper's side. The Linken Sphere tries to block it. Zai gets the distance away. They didn't do enough damage. And now Yapsor opens up with the black hole. He's already found the kill over on the Necro, but Ace moving forward on this Terrorblade. He wants to kill off mid one. Very little damage from him as Ace swaps the life sucker. Stays alive for the moment, but not that moment on. Nisha just jumps forward, and when the X marks the spot, Ace pulls back. He's one more hit away from death, but they can't reach him. Nisha will still have himself a triple kill. It is just his day as a Morphling. Saksa wants to kill off mid one, but the cold embrace, it is there. Saksa, no way to survive. Nisha is just way too good and way too everybody.
Did you see that? He still had the TB meta, right? Killing everybody. Tries to swap the Wyvern to get that lasted off on TP. If he landed that, it would have been a rampage and probably the play, maybe not of the tournament, but it would have, at least the day. Like, this guy is nuts. And there's the Morpher's TB factor. Not only do you get the meta, you have reflection spam as well. Morph should not be able to attack from that far away.
Oh, they should jump in, Yapsor. They got the X marks the spot combining with both Torrent and Ship. You'll have to BKB once again from Fada. Down to a 6-second duration on his BKB at 7 seconds on the Terrorblade.
That came up like a hair before he would have died. I did not expect that X to... Well, I mean, he doesn't know that Fada's BKB is not going to be able to save him if he X's him back a little early, but... And... Game's looking grim.
Well, let's have another quick look at this one. So Saksa gets the setup they're looking for, but this Reaper's Scythe, a quick Linken Sphere protection, but Zai gets himself further away. So he already took the damage. But this follow-up.
Look at this from Nisha. It is so smooth. Going to continue just chase the Wyvern, and then this play at the end is what's just really fun to watch. They get the nice under off on Zai. They're able to take him out. But look at how far he's attacking from. He finishes off the Nyx. He's hitting the TB. Ace tries to Manta dodge the X, which is really cool, and just not in time with the winner's blast chill thing, whatever it's called.
Yeah. That range from the Arctic burn is that's what was letting him hit from such insane range.
Does that stack with meta? That's something I have to test.
test away and give us an answer, but all I know is that this Morphling was well out of harm's way. PPD has to call it right to protect himself as he gets hit by practically every magical damage piece they've got, and down he goes. Buyback is available for PPD, and he will need to do it. They need their Winter's Curse to defend this high ground, to not let that melee right go. With the X mark spot over on Ace, they're just trying to get the BKBs out. There's the two heroes, they're trying to bait the BKBs on. They got caught inside that torrent.
It's so cool the way Secret plays this as well. Like, their whole draft can lay down these areas that you don't want to be in anymore, and they literally X that spot, bring somebody back into it, and they're dead. You've got a Midnight Pulse, the Torrent, Pango, Shadow Demon spam, and you always have the threat of the Morph thing as well. Like, you just can't survive if you're a support and you're caught by an X. There's nothing you can do. Nyx, Soxa looking to set up here, but there's a gem on somebody.
Yeah, Zai.
Pango.
It's Zai, and it's actually the stolen one as well. That's the one PPD bought and he dropped during the last engagement. And Sarks is just doing the best he can to stay away. Like, he saw where the Pango was. Now they'll find Yapsaw at the 35-minute runes. But there's no follow-up to this. There's no one that can get close enough. And every single rune bar one. Like, okay, yeah, sure.
You know another reason Pangolier owns Terrorblade? Your Heart Piercer removes all of his armor.
Barda's in trouble. BKBs begins the TP. Black hole. Oh, cancel the TP. Yeah. Barda thought he was secure, but he's dead for a minute and then looking for more. The Rolling Thunder forward from Zai, trying to catch up towards the Terrorblade. He's able to do so. No, falls just a little bit short.
It's Arcane Ring though, so it's 40 seconds. That ultimate's going to be right back up again.
And they can just go for Roshan. No Huskar up for a minute, and Roshan's alive.
They still have their mid tower, and like Secret's under no threat in this game whatsoever. The only towers they seeded are the two least important to their side.
Oh, mind control. Observer and Sentry was planted a long time ago by Team Secret. We're now having that fight up on top, and well, they're just going to keep going into mind control. Pushing out the lane, allowing Nisha to attack. Good curse, a Shadow Demon, dropping down low, mid one. He's not going to finish the job. Support was there from Yapsaw. Now glimmer him up, give him some protection. Actually, Zai popping up the Crimson Guard, slowing down that damage of mid one.
Taking TB out the Shadow Demon as well.
Nisha's just taking top racks, that's what they're really taking. Lincoln Sphere up, he's just going to change quickly. Look for the pop damage into mind control. Red one's got ship ready to roll.
He's saving the meta. He's saving the meta to pop. No, he doesn't use it actually. Okay. I thought he was going to save, pop meta like the very end and look for more spells.
But now they're just very happy to keep the status quo. 12k is the gold advantage up for Team Secret. They got to feel very happy. 18k in the experience too. And they found a target. In towards the mid. It could mouth the sun off. Barda, BKBs wants to fight with a Reaper side. Down goes Enigma. That's a huge streak to end over on Yapsaw, but what's going to be the collateral? It's PPD to start with. Nisha is well beyond godlike, and now they have to turn their attention towards the Terrorblade. He's holding his ground. Sunder is still available, but now Nisha, he'll just turn into the Terrorblade as well. Beating into one. He swaps the life with actually Soxa, and that allows Zai to jump further forward. Spike Carapace not able to actually trigger and hurt Zai as he jumped up.
He was halberded for 5 out of that 7-second BKB. I mean, just near flawless play from Secret. Nisha knows he can play that aggressively because he's got a Linken's, and you can see how afraid Ace has to play. He's sundering defensively on his own ally constantly because he knows that he's going to get screwed by a Linken's and die if he tries to do so with the turnaround.
Man, what's really stronger, the reflection he pops over onto Nisha or the SD disruption, and now just has Puppey turning Ace onto himself. Nisha will still stand his ground strong, even without the BKB, even without the Manta, and even without mana. They got the melee racks in mid. Top is still alive, but once again, Secret will just back off, reset. They can TP him back to base and then just X marks to spot him. So, like, here we go again. A quick regeneration for Nisha.
I feel like, you know that meme where it's like you're playing against Alliance? You do not ban Fury in Alliance first experience.
Is it the Morphling?
I think
like, why do you not ban Morphling in the first 3?
I don't know how to beat this hero. I especially don't know how to beat Nisha when he's on it. It feels like it just makes the game easy for Secret. They all know how to play. everything they're doing works. Their itemization, the way they approach skirmishes, team fights, even the way they retreat.
Well, this might be the best opportunity they've had in a while, but no, they can't actually on Zion in time. Roshan is dropping down low, 3.2k. That's the side. Oh, there's the curse. That's going to be a quick hit and the follow-up double stun from Sansa. So Poppy will go down. He's buying back and going to TP out as quick as he can. And she's going to walk the whole way. But Nisha, he doesn't care. He's going after Fada. But the jump forward, Nisha, maybe a little bit too deep. Oh, yes! Oh, there's the three-man hole. Side of follow-up. The damage is coming in mid-one. They can't do enough. Eight's able to thunder. And they're going to bring down Yamasaw. It looked good, but it didn't have any bite to it from Team Secret. They buy back over on Nisha. Zai is cleaning up the back lines. They would love a little bit more. And with the X marks the spot, Sansa, Poppy would like to try and get a little bit more. The follow-up's not there, but Zai, man, he is king of the castle at the moment. And Nisha, oh, okay, he's the real dirty rascal. Chasing after Ace, rolling boulder. That's going to be enough just to kick through and get that kill onto Ace. They just finish one after the other. You think NIP are on the board, are able to find these kills, dodging the big abilities, dodging the black hole, but NIP, they're all dead.
Why are they still there? They saw everybody buy back, and the heroes alive are Kunkka Pango. They're going to continue to pursue. They just get caught with no BKBs. Kunkka all of a sudden becomes uncontrollable catch and just lands X after X after X. Like, he's got to be one of the most successful pilots I've seen since Long John Silver.
Let's have a look at it again. So Zai,
yeah, they get a little
jump
too
up,
aggressive.
he just stuns over a 3. Now PPD, you think this is the good moment. No SD mess up, there's your double stun from the next assassin. But where did it go wrong?
The buybacks, number one, but also, I mean, Secret shouldn't be playing that offensively. They're more trying to counter-initiate. This is a great black hole from Yasuo, which just doesn't save Nisha. The problem is, Nip sticks around without BKBs.
Yep.
And Wyvern's dead. As soon as he gets that Sunder off, I think Ace just has to flee. And we've seen this time and time again, where a team, yeah, you lose a few, but you buy back,
back
get the
line.
turnaround.
Poppy, he doesn't need the sentry wall. That's why Fada jumps forward. They want that die back on him. The stun, it does connect over towards Nisha. But now Nisha, they're dropping down very, very low. But he's got the Aegis Immortal and the cheese to work with. He doesn't really care. He just moves further forward. Poppy can go down. Ace, how much damage have you got? They need to try and crack something. But so far, even Sansa with these double stuns, they just can't find their opening. Instead, it's going to be the Terrorblade. He has the Sunder of Marble and the curse. It's good. It's over on Kunkka, but Nisha's not doing anywhere near enough damage. It's mind control. He actually switched the lights. The Reaper sight will come down. Kunkka is there for 140 seconds. That gives him some time to think. And Nisha, maybe too deep, but then again, maybe he's Nisha. He is so damn hard to kill. Wait for him in 1 second time. This will give him some distance. Oh, he'll let the Aegis Immortal break to switch the cheese in. Mind control wants to help out to try and find this kill. Reflection, everything you've got. Yasuo gets the black hole over on Ace. Or does he? Yes, he does. 2 minutes on the sideline. Thanks to the dieback. No help was available from PPD because the Winter's Curse was still on cooldown, and he'll actually die as he walks back underneath the towers. It's Yasuo with the double kill, and they're looking for a little bit more. Maybe Mind Control can hold the lines. Zai is trying to run away. PPD will fight back, so there's 2 full lanes of racks. And IP claim a couple of kills, but it's still a very costly fight.
Again, Secret getting a little ambitious. I think if they play a bit more conservative, Yapster didn't have ultimate as that fight started. When the black hole's up, they're no longer defeatable, but just a little antsy to end the game. I think they went for tier 4s. They were like, yeah, maybe we just turn for the racks instead, but they lose a bit of their positioning window due to it. And they're still in a great spot for the top 5 net worths. I think if you want, you could wait for next Roche, but I think it's more likely Secret look to make a smoke move after the Scotty pickup on Nisha and try and kill Ace again to close it out.
Yapso was kind of waiting for an opportunity to... I am not certain to do what, like just letting these conversions kill off the shrine. Saxa will do whatever he can to stop it, but
Dire's bottom shrine is under attack.
yeah, those conversions have the plus 70 idle on damage, so they can do that quite easily themselves. And that's what he was waiting for, just to create new set.
Dude, and look at the item we've got on Yapso.
Yeah, he actually bought it.
Yeah.
And then he sold it. and then he bought it again. Like, he bought it before the fight, and then he sold it. So there was some level of indecision, but it's a refresher roll for the Enigma.
Yeah. It's never bad when they can't cancel your black hole anymore. It's just so good.
Or you just do it twice over with the immunity both times as well.
This is one of the every hero that's good. Or rather, every hero that is a GPM talent at level 10 or 15 seems to be good. And when you combine the crazy kit of Enigma with a 150 GPM talent at level 15, it's bonkers. There's a reason this hero is going to be first picked or banned pretty much every game in this tournament.
All right, we also thought Phoenix was going to get a little bit more of a traction in this tournament, and so far, everyone's gone a different angle.
You can kill the egg, you can't kill the entropy of a black hole.
Team Secret are grouping up on bottom. They got one lane left to crush before they get the megas up and running, and it will be a hell of a lot of work for NIP to hold the line.
And this is just easy, methodical games. They've got the Scotty, and now it's go time. You have the Aeon Disc on Puppy. All of the cores have 3,000 HP.
The only thing they don't have this time around is that Aegis and Cheese, which should allow Nisha just to extend the fight. PPD is looking for the cursed target, but when they X-Mark, Spot, and BKB, like, there's just nothing to gain. There's nothing to do. Like, they cannot stop Nisha, and even if they start on Nisha, he's just gonna get pulled back to safety.
Yeah, they back up for the bounty runes, but I mean, how cool is that? Like, that was a tier 3 through Crimson Guard in the duration of a BKB. And it's now very difficult for Nip to defend high ground. Secret, again, no pressure. Roche spawns in 3 to 6 minutes. They might look to end, but they can also just keep controlling the map. They've taken out both shrines, and Nip is thoroughly sealed in their base.
Tuxa, at least he has that gem of PPD back. That was the one thing they were able to regain, but no, I suppose, actually, is that the one they regained? Yeah, because Zaya's got his one back again. So either side, they have vision. They have anti-vision to play with.
They're doing a good job of sweeping the map together, where they clear both lanes, they clear the jungle, and no one's ever out of reach of their allies. Because you invite a fight if you're Secret, if Nip want to give it to them, but they have no need to invade the high ground just yet. Oh,
that's all. He's going away. He black holed for that one, and now PPD's coming over. They got extra health. Remember, he has the refresher. The Reaper side does not find the kill, but damage remains. That will. So no Enigma for the moment. He has 5x and Barbarous. Now Nisha comes into the fight as that Morphling, well as everybody. And the 5x there from Enigma. He's keeping over towards the Trident with a double torrent and control, mind control. Slice him, dice him, and serve him up for dinner. NIP, you're on the menu.
Man, and Nisha gets so much love from us the entire game. You forget that they've got the first or second player to hit 10k MMR on the mid. And that's it. There's no buyback TV. No buyback Necro. Game over, folks.
Yeah, they're coming in. Game 1 looks to be going the way of Team Secret. Husker jumps forward, but yep, he's just disarmed. Mid 1 beats him down. A couple of, well, one more hit will do it. He hasn't got him checked yet, now he has, but yeah, bottom tower is gone. 3 heroes on the sideline, and this game, it belongs to Team Secret. Even with the curse out, no one's close enough to Yapsol for him to die. Team Secret against NIP, and a one victory securing that upper bracket position at the KL Major.
I love watching Secret play, man. They're so good. They do all the things that you need to win games at this level. They've got incredible individual talent. They lane well. Their draft complements itself. Their item choice is good. They have cores they can rely upon. It's just so smooth.
Yep.
It's so much fun to watch, and you can see like the different concepts in the way both teams draft. Secret's open, exploits win conditions, like kind of it's a fluid draft. Nip comes in with